The question I am so often asked is it okay to leave your child to cry it out as a way of sleep training? In this video, I'm going to be talking a little bit about sleep training, cry it out, and what it really means. As parents, you're just completely bombarded by information about sleep. Everybody has an opinion on it, and everybody feels that they know best. A couple of things here. You know your child better than anybody. Now remember that, regardless of what you're being told by anyone, you know your child better than anybody. And if you're ever being told anything or suggested that you do anything, and you just know that that won't work for your child, it's not going to work for your child. So don't worry. I wouldn't even try it. If you feel that something is not going to work for your child, it won't work. Or if something really kind of hurts your heart, then it's not the technique for you either. Because if something feels really, really painful for you, you're likely to give in, and that's just not worth it for anybody. You're putting everybody through a whole lot of stress for you just to give in. So if you know something's not going to work, don't do it. If it hurts your heart, don't do it. But let's have a look at what cry it out is. It's a whole different range and spectrum of cry it out techniques. Now, cry it out, I think we can all agree, is when you leave your child to cry in order for them to learn how to fall asleep. Whether that is time checks, or you're not going in at all, or you're only leaving them for a few seconds and then coming in. If you are leaving the room and you are leaving your child to cry, then that's cry it out. Is cry it out okay? Well, that depends on you, and that really depends on your child. Cry it out works for a lot of children. I'm not disputing that. It works really, really well for a lot of children. A lot of children will just cry, fuss around for 15, 20 minutes, and then they are able to fall asleep, and then they sleep for a really long time. Works great for those kiddos. It doesn't work so great for the children who have a more intense personality, and they get themselves worked up, they get themselves panicking, and then they are not sleeping. It's a big urgent cry, and when it's a big urgent cry, nobody is just relaxing and sleeping after they have been doing that big urgent cry for such a long time. So it depends on your child if cry it out is going to work for them or not. If you are wondering what your child's sleep personality is, the link to my sleep personality quiz is below. You can take that and find out exactly what your child's sleep personality is. So leaving children to cry may be okay for some, but if it gets to that really big urgent cry, I would just stop, because at that point they may begin to panic, and nobody is sleeping when they're panicking. But what do you do if you are really, really desperate for some sleep and you are wanting to do some sleep training, but you have a child who has that more intense sleep personality? Cry it out just isn't going to work for them. Your child is going to do better with techniques where you are remaining with them and you are able to soothe them. There are gentle, no cry sleep training techniques out there, where you are heavily involved initially and then gradually get less and less involved. And as you gradually get less involved, your child becomes more independent. These techniques are not a quick fix. It's not like a 3-night thing like cry it out is. It takes much, much longer, but you are not letting your intense child get to that real big urgent cry, which can make it really, really hard for them to, 1, sleep, 2, to love falling asleep. We want your child to feel the same way that you and I do when we get into bed at the beginning of the night, and just to think how great that is. We want your child to feel that. If they are crying themselves to sleep each night, they are not going to love falling asleep. So nice and gently wins when you are working with a child who has that more intense sleep personality.